fallout from the documentary that everyone is talking about. Mackenzie Shirilla spoke out for the first time since her murder conviction in connection to the crash that killed her boyfriend Dominic Russo and a friend Davon Flanagan. But I'll show you the hidden pieces of this courtroom drama that they completely left out. In this movie, for the first time, we see Mackenzie Shirilla given in this documentary. It's not just what Mackenzie had to say, it's what her parents had to say, and there's been a lot of criticism of them after this movie was released. And to this day, they say their daughter's innocent. Mackenzie says she doesn't remember what happened on the night that she drove a car 100 miles per hour into a wall, killing Dominic Russo and Davon Flanagan. Now, the evidence proved otherwise. A judge in Ohio found Mackenzie Shirilla guilty in 2023, and she is serving 15 years to life in a prison in Ohio. Now, the fallout that we're talking about today has to do with Mackenzie's dad. He is featured prominently in this documentary. He unapologetically supports his daughter and says that she is innocent and that the judge got it wrong. But now it appears he's in trouble with his job because of what he said in the documentary. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. And we're also going to talk about some of the parts of the story that you didn't see in this documentary. It's a really good documentary, but I was surprised that there were some parts so, and she, like a lot of teens, is very active on social media back then. These are some of the images that she posted to her TikTok. And in 2022, she's dating this 20-year-old named Dominic Russo. This is a picture of the two of them together. They reportedly dated for multiple years. The couple actually lived together in one of Dominic's family's homes. Mackenzie's parents in the documentary The Crash, they really paint this relationship as something that's beautiful, young love. One day her dad says that the couple potentially was going to get married. Mackenzie, in her own words, says, had the crash not happened, it was likely that she was going to be Dominic's wife today. But prosecutors say that story. It couldn't be further from the truth. They say, don't let the pictures fool you. This relationship was far from perfect. In fact, they say this relationship was toxic. Dominic's family testified.
You lied. You lied and said you would never lock me out of the house again. That is why we got back together last time we broke up. But I forgot. You can never
broke up with me
your
earlier.
word because you were.
That's a phone call between Mackenzie and Dominic that was part of the evidence in the case. And it just gives you a glimpse into what this relationship was like. And in the early hours of the morning on July 31st, 2022, this relationship turned deadly. That's video of Mackenzie behind the wheel driving more than 100 miles per hour into a wall around 5:30 in the morning. Here's video from before the crash of the car with Mackenzie driving fully in control, rounding the corner at a normal speed before prosecutors say Shirilla floored it. Dominic was in the car as well as Davon. Both of them died, but at this point, during the crash recovery, it didn't appear that Mackenzie was in this area, the area where this crash happened, days before, and prosecutors argued that it showed that Mackenzie was scoping this area out. Now in the vehicle, police found a weed pen, a bong, and multiple grams of marijuana. That certainly played a role in the story that prosecutors told as well. And Mackenzie's dad in the documentary talked about how his daughter regularly used marijuana. But prosecutors argued because she often smoked weed that it wasn't something that would have impaired her and led to her putting her foot on the gas, as the black box in the car showed, and flooring it into a wall at 100 miles per hour. Prosecutors say she was not impaired at the time of this crash. As Mackenzie was recovering in the hospital, she played the role of a grieving girlfriend, publicly. Prosecutors would later argue that she wanted to turn that role as a victim into something where she could make money working as a model.
At
after the crash, Strongsville police were notified that they had received concerning emails from the community that the defendant and her mother were seeking employment with the Los Angeles modeling agency. Mackenzie Shirilla said to Vitali, "Thank you for the comment. I would love to work with you guys. I've been emailing you guys a lot. Such a great opportunity. Thank you."
A classmate shared this text message with investigators that shows Shirilla asking for him to go get pictures of her from Dominic's room so she could put them in Dominic's casket at his funeral. So, quote, "He can be with me forever." Shirilla also went to a concert in the months after the crash in a wheelchair, as you can see here. Prosecutors used it at trial to once again prove that she was not a mourning girlfriend, but was trying to capitalize on what had happened. Now, if you watch the documentary, there were also people who were friends of Mackenzie Shirilla who argued it wasn't in her character, that she would do something like take the lives of two people, including the life of someone who she had dated for a long period of time. That's something that prosecutors didn't buy. It's certainly something that the judge that decided the verdict in this case did not buy.
The police were provided additional videos of the defendant from her wheelchair as she attended a concert down in the Flats. And again, Your Honor, I'm introducing these to the court to show the shocking lack of remorse. This was something that was being exhibited while the investigation was still going on, before she was charged and arrested in November of last year. And these were the sort of things that were coming to the police, and the shocking lack of remorse, coupled with the fact that the defendant was reported driving an automobile shortly after this event, that she was seen in Strongsville again driving a car. In spite of the fact that, as her mother testified, she got dizzy sometimes from a condition that she had to take salt pills for, in spite of the fact that it was, in fact, her mother who provided her with the car that she used to take Dominic and Davion's life.
But as Mackenzie played the part of a victim, authorities built their case, and in November of 2022, she was arrested.
Can you please be careful taking this one off so it doesn't break the bracelet, please?
You got it. You got it.
Do you want my glass?
No.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, just keep your hands right here. You're not gonna tighten these, okay? We don't want to hurt you. You good? Are they good? Thank you. All right. This cruiser right here.
Actually, he took her out of the car, and we did not.
Okay. Do you have anything I can find? Pockets, anything like that?
We'll have pockets, but we're just gonna...
Don't. I'm not gonna hurt you. You okay?
The cruiser being taken to the county jail. She seems solemn. She seems emotional. What happens now? What am I doing?
The lawyer said they called and said that, not to talk to any cops because she's legal counsel.
Yeah, and we read her rights. She's 18. Yeah, we are not going to ask her any questions. We have nothing to ask her, so we're not going to ask her anything anyway. So when we're done with our booking process, she will likely be processed downtown. We'll transport her downtown.
That is video of Mackenzie Shirilla's mom at the police station after her daughter was taken into custody. Again, Mackenzie's mom and dad defiantly stand by their daughter, saying that she is innocent. Even though prosecutors would point to the black box of the car she was driving, showing that the gas was pressed down to the floor. There was no effort to break whatsoever. Here is video of Mackenzie's dad showing up at the police station. Here's what he says to authorities.
I need to speak to my daughter because you guys aren't allowed to speak to her at all. That's from the lawyer. He does not want you guys speaking to her. And I can get him on the phone and he can tell you that over the phone if that works, or I can go in and tell her not to open her mouth. But how you guys did this on the weekend is just, all you do is go, hey, there's a warrant for, we would have brought her right down here with no problem, but you hit it. It's just unbelievable. I mean, she's 18.
So the warrant was issued today, so we executed it today. The warrant wasn't issued earlier.
Well, you could have made a phone call, couldn't you? You had your creeper out in front of my yard watching.
So, she can't take any, she's an adult, she can't take any phone calls right now. She'll be transferred downtown.
Okay.
I don't know when.
Service just called to advise.
She'll be transferred downtown.
Okay, well, I still need to speak to my daughter so she understands whatever, not to say anything to you guys.
Okay, and I don't know about the phone, we'd have to ask about that.
Can you go find, it's mine, it's not hers, I do need it, I have other children.
And that's how we communicate.
Yeah, and that's how we communicate.
Okay, so
I do need my phone.
Yeah,
I mean, if you had to roll out the whole mess to pick up an 18-year-old girl who can hardly walk out of a hospital visit, it's just beyond me.
So we follow the law, and that's what we're doing today. So her, the phone that was in her hand is the one that we took, but I'd have to check with the detective to find out what's going on with that. I don't know the answer to that.
Can we find out? I do need it like right now.
Okay, let me at least
I have
ask.
another child.
Yeah. No, I get it. So we gotta let them.
Can you, so yeah. Thank you.
Then am I going to be allowed to have a 2-minute conversation with her?
You cannot talk to her while she's here. No.
Why doesn't she get a
Well,
phone
she has
call?
legal
If you arrested her, why don't
representative.
she get a phone call?
She was just brought in. They're going to process her. As soon as they get the time for her to make a phone call, she will be able to make a phone call.
You just need to advise her, she has a lawyer.
She's a lawyer. She does have a lawyer.
She is 18 years old and she could speak that.
Yeah, but she's a dumb 18-year-old that just turned 18.
Well,
and you guys are
saying
no.
she's dumb.
The folks, all the kids nowadays are dumb, and these guys are going to take advantage of her. She's not allowed to speak to you guys. I'm telling you that.
Her
from
attorney
lawyer.
can call us.
I just need
Don't ask her any questions. She's not allowed to speak to you.
Mackenzie's dad is now facing his own issues after this documentary dropped on Netflix. Before we get into that, I want to talk about Mackenzie's trial. So it's 2023, and Mackenzie, again, she argued, and she still argues to this day, that she doesn't remember what happened that night. She has no recollection. She says Mackenzie opted for a judge to decide her innocence or guilt, not a jury. And that judge found Mackenzie guilty on 12 charges. 4 counts of murder. 4 counts of felonious assault. 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide. 1 count of drug possession, and 1 count of possessing criminal tools. At sentencing, this is what Mackenzie said.
Is there anyone else?
I would like Mackenzie to address the court.
Mackenzie, you don't have to speak if you don't want to. It's up to you. Okay? You can sit if it's more comfortable. Whatever's better.
Now, you can hear there that Mackenzie still claimed what happened wasn't her fault, and if she had appealed, her defense may have pointed to what they believed was a lack of evidence proving that she knew what she was doing. But we'll talk a little bit more in a moment about why she won't be able to appeal. Now, prior to Mackenzie's victim impact statement, Mackenzie's mom addressed the court, and it did not go well.
She would never, ever, ever murder the love of her life. Okay? Halloween, for 3 months after the accident, she would only wear his clothes. She would only eat the snacks he ate. She would only listen to the music he wrote, okay? She was laying in bed for 3 months crying. There was a shrine of him next to her with photos and things that he liked, and this flower that lights up that he got her because he wanted it to be fresh and alive forever. It's like a little Beauty and the Beast flower. Okay, she's got this shrine of him next to her. So she was crying for 3 months. So her friends asked if she wanted to go out trick-or-treating or Halloween, and it was at OU. And she didn't even want to go. She said, I don't know, should I go? She couldn't even walk yet, barely. So I told her, I said, baby, please go. It's Halloween. You've been laying for 3 months crying, only listening to his music. Please go have just a moment of fun. A moment of fun. So we told her to go. My husband drove her. I brought her back home. She just needed a second of fun from losing her whole world. Her whole world. So that was us. We told her to go. And that concert she went to with Dom's cousin, Abby, they picked her up. They brought her there. That was Dom, Mackenzie and Dom and Abby all decided to go to this concert together while they were in the hospital. That was for Dom. Everything she did after the accident was either in honor of him, to be close to him, or just to be by him any way that she can. She's like devastated and tragic. He was the air that she breathes, okay? And they went with his cousin. We spent all kinds of time with him after the accident. What was the other thing?
I'm hearing an awful lot about your daughter. I'm not hearing very much about the two dead people.
Dominic, okay, I'm asking you for leniency because this was a tragic accident that she does not remember. And Davion, he's a new friend. And I'm so sorry.
What does that mean? His life is worthless?
No.
Okay.
God, no, not at all. They all loved each other. They all spent every day together. You know what I mean? I don't know
and
too much for him.
isn't that part of the problem, Mrs. Shirilla?
Sorry?
Isn't that part of the problem, that they all trusted each other? Isn't that part of...
It's not a problem at all. It was
It's
wonderful.
a problem how they all ended up in the car together and two of them ended up dead.
I understand. I understand what it looks like. I'm saying that it was a tragic accident. She would never.
Well, we're going to have to disagree on that.
I understand.
Right. There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone in this room, and that person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible. This isn't the fault of Dominic's family or Davion's family or your family. And I know that each of you have asked your questions to yourselves, what if? What if I had done this or that? The truth of it is, none of us can control the intentions of another. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, it is the perpetrator alone who bears the responsibility for the choice and the consequences and the harm that follows. The difficulty for sentencing today, honestly, is whether or not I believe you should get consecutive sentences. I'm troubled that should I give you a concurrent sentence, that people will believe that somehow I'm being disrespectful to one of the victims. And on the other hand, I have to weigh the punishment. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. That won't be up to me. That will be up to the parole board, and that will be up to you to a great extent. I understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence, but I don't believe that would be the appropriate sentence, because I do believe that Mackenzie will not be out in 15 years.
In the documentary, it says that Mackenzie's appeal was denied. There is a little more context to that I want to talk about here in just a moment, but let's talk about Mackenzie's dad.
In the documentary, it says that Mackenzie's appeal was denied. There is a little more context to that I want to talk about here in just a moment. But let's talk about Mackenzie's dad. He works as a teacher at a Catholic school in Cleveland. His name is Steve Shirilla, and he teaches art and digital media at Mary Queen of Peace School. This week, he was placed on administrative leave because of, quote, poor judgment. According to local media outlet Cleveland 19 News, Mary Queen of Peace School reportedly sent the following email to parents, quote, Dear Mary, Queen of Peace School, parents, families, and guardians, we are investigating allegations made on social media that one of our teachers has demonstrated poor judgment. Upon learning of the allegation, the school acted immediately and placed the teacher on administrative leave. The investigation is ongoing. We want every parent and family to know that the safety, well-being, and trust of our students remain among our highest priorities. We take all student concerns seriously and are committed to responding promptly and responsibly whenever concerns are brought forward. While we are limited in what we can share during an active personnel investigation, please know we are reviewing the matter and will provide additional communication as appropriate. We appreciate your continued support of the Mary Queen of Peace School community. Now, Mackenzie's dad confirmed to this television station, Cleveland 19 News, that he has been placed on administrative leave. And he also told the TV station that he's upset with the documentary. He's upset with how it was edited. But he also says he still believes that his daughter is innocent. Now, at the end of the documentary, you saw a part where they say that Mackenzie Shirilla's appeal was denied. There's a little more context to how that went. She was sentenced on August 21st, 2023. Her attorneys filed an appeal on October 24th, 2024. Her attorneys argued there wasn't enough evidence to prove that Mackenzie meant to kill Russo and Flanagan. But then, in March of this year, her appeal was rejected, and it wasn't based on the facts of the case. It was denied because it was filed too late, just a day after not going to let her appeal her verdict. Now again, Mackenzie Shirilla is serving 15 years to life. It is possible that she could be released on parole when she's roughly 34 years old, which would be in 2038. However, again, it is also possible that she spends the rest of her life in prison.